Alrighty. So, we got two new faces from last week. Um, you already know what it is. It's the greatest podcast on planet Earth, Fruity Not Soccer. You know the vibe. The two new guests we got in the house. I had reached out to my school uh homeboy or nemesis, whatever you want to call him, Saeed, to replace me because Noyo said he had to work overtime at work, but I'm more than happy he was able to join in. So I do appreciate your time, Saeed.
This guy's probably on the subway right now.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I just had a surprise guest come to my little um spot, so I'm gonna have to run that back. You gotta go to bed, bro. You gotta go to
Oh, this guy. This guy.
bedtime. Yeah, I'll look it.
thought this was a serious call.
Yeah, nah, he heard me talking, so he just bust into this thing like you're home, cause I've not seen him in about maybe 2 hours, so he didn't know I was in the house. But anyways, sorry about that. So when I'm gonna edit all of this stuff, and we'll start from the point where we introduce and whatnot. But anyways, like I was saying, you guys, welcome back to this is Footy Not Soccer. Episode 2. We're just gonna recap what we went over last week. Check out our predictions for the season. Also check out results from the past weekend, and we're also gonna touch on goal of the week from last week, and I believe there was also game of the week from last week as well. Everybody's gonna have a chance to go, so we try to kind of keep it short and simple. But what I was saying earlier, we do have two new faces in the house from last week. We got Saeed in Man United, the ultimate bombs in the league. And funny enough, the other new guest in the house is also a United fan. We got Shay in the house as well. We do appreciate having you guys on. Um, just what I had initially planned to do was to kind of put everybody's predictions from last week as what we thought the top eight was gonna be. But I kind of dropped the ball there. I did not do that. So I'm gonna try to skip that on this segment, and maybe next week we'll revisit. The window ends next week or the week after.
No, see, it's still like 2 weeks.
End of August, yeah, like
Yeah,
27.
exactly. Still 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah. And plus the two guys in here, the new faces did not get a chance to give their predictions, so it really wouldn't be ideal to touch on that on this episode. But most definitely revisit. But since we last spoke, a lot has happened, man. I think Chelsea have pretty much been making the most noise. Not like it's gonna manifest into anything, but we'll touch on all of that. Uh, we've also seen some moves in the market from Arsenal, and we had some games that were pretty interesting over the weekend. So, I have the results from last weekend's game pulled up right here. The laptop was right up. Um, First game of the weekend was Man City. We do not have a Man City fan here, so we're not gonna touch on that game. Score that game was just good. Man City won up to a winning start. Boo. But good news from that game is they did lose Kevin De Bruyne. I think that's big in like the grand scheme of things going into the season, and we'd also touch on that. If it's a big loss to lose KDB on City side, as it is losing Timber on Arsenal side. We touch on that right about the end of the episode. The next game after the was Arsenal and the Nottingham Forest, and won. Ended up being an emerging finish. Uh, it's a lot of work still to be done on Arsenal's side, and we do have a little case of David Raya that has also joined, so we would also address that. But from the agenda that was sent out earlier, after the results, what we're gonna dive into real quick is just the Chelsea segment. But let's start here at the Arsenal because we have two Arsenal people, other than me, two Arsenal people in the chat. Just a quick take on the game, Lucky and Guggle. Whoever wants to go first to jump in. What was your take on that game? Arsenal, nothing for
I guess I'll go. I mean, for me, bro, it's very simple. It's more of the same from last season. I know, like, a lot of fans and the media hop on, like, certain scapegoats and whatnot, but I think for me, like, the devil is always the details in the sense that, yeah, Arsenal are good, but, like, how good are they? I don't think we've seen their maximum potential in the sense that, like, respect him for us, and they were definitely positive in the sense that I haven't seen too many games at home where they've stifled the opposition and managed to position territorially dominate their opponent in such a fashion. But like
on our side.
yes.
Oh nah, I think I that, but go ahead.
Let me finish,
Go ahead.
bro.
Go ahead.
Let me finish. But like at the end of the day, do they really have the ability to consistently put their necks on their opponent? Or sorry, step on the foot on the necks of their opponent.
I know where you're going. Don't worry, I got you.
So for me, it's like, and we didn't really touch on the Burnley City game because obviously nobody here is a City fan, but City could be in second gear and clap a team like Burnley 3-0 without even like breaking a sweat. Arsenal could be playing at their maximum, and it's like you still wondering but like obviously City have been doing what they've been doing for the best part of 10 years. Arsenal's best spell in the last 15 to 20 years has just basically started in the last 18 months. So obviously it's a process. If the result was W, if the performances are still manifesting in the same way come like midway in the season, then I would be worried. But for now, everybody's catching the groove. You know, there's still things to be worked on. There's additions, there's flexibility, tactical variations, and new additions. So we'll see. But that's my take on the game.
Yeah, just to touch on Gugga before you jump in, just to touch on something you said real quick. And it's pretty much what I was talking to you about yesterday as far as Eddie being the number 9 or anybody else being the number 9, whether it be Kai Havertz, whether it be Trossard, whether it be Gabriel Jesus. When we have any of those guys, any one of those names I just mentioned, I don't know about territorial domination because Rice is a new addition and we haven't seen him over an extended period of time, so we don't know if that's going to be the norm this season. You know, that could potentially be what it is this season, dominate everybody who plays.
I would hope
can't
so.
speak on that because it's such a small sample size. But as far as creating clear-cut chances, because that sounds like that's what you were alluding to. We had a lot of balls we didn't really do shit with, right?
Yeah, but like, I mean, they managed to score 2 goals from counter pressing. That came
those 2 goals.
from.
That was individual brilliance. That was not no breaking the opposition down. Like
I
Saka's goal was.
I said counter pressing from corner kicks that we had, and I mean like as far as I'm concerned, like you know, it's the way the victory manifests. If you score 2 goals in the first 30 minutes at home against Forest, sorry, but like at that point in time, I said to the people I was watching the game with, like you should be looking to make a statement, not ending the game 1 where you having to bring up center backs to see the shit out. So like, my stand higher, I watch other teams other than Arsenal, and I know what an elite European side looks like. I don't think they're there yet. So that's just my take. That's not a bad side, but I think there's a lot more to
Yeah,
come.
I mean, it's kind of contradicting. If we are saying we're gonna win the league, like your prediction last week said Arsenal at number one, no bummy side in England is gonna win the league. So if we're not elite in Europe, then we're not gonna
There's
win the
there.
league pretty much.
I'm gonna leave the to someone else to talk, but I'm gonna just leave it at this, right? There's always a middle ground. Right? Just because you a good team in your country doesn't make you an elite European side. Let's not
Yeah,
confuse those
who's
two
seen the
things.
Champions League? Who's seen the Champions League?
And that's number one. Number two, this is just game week, so there's still a
Yeah,
long
yeah,
way to go.
yeah, yeah. No, facts, facts. But Gogo, do you have any input before we dive into the next game?
Yeah, so honestly, my input is that I mean, obviously, as an Arsenal fan, well, not even finishing, but having the season that we did last season, performing the way that we performed last season, obviously everybody has sky high expectations for this season, and basically, I think our sky high expectations and the signings that we've made a bit underwhelming the performance against Nottingham
I
Forest.
agree.
And
I
I think
agree.
it's underwhelming and underwhelming to the point that you kind of worry a bit because first of all, I mean, our not our top goal scorer, but Gabriel Jesus,
Main
who is
focal point.
signed to be our top goal scorer, is not going to be in the picture for a long time. During Urian Timber, who was looking like one of the most flexible options that we were
Oh,
going to have in our
don't go too deep on Timber. We have a separate segment for that. But
hmm
I feel
But
you that it
yeah,
was. I thought it
and
was
then
after that, after he got hurt, that things kind of started to fall apart, right?
yeah, and I mean, even before then, it was kind of domination in the fact that, like, it's like you're always gonna just be wondering, where's that striker, that type
Yeah,
of
yeah,
domination.
and I got a question for you, guys. Because I was telling Latif this the other day, and he does not agree. Do you think the reason that game manifested the way it did was mainly down to the type of person we had at playing the nine, like Eddie? We know Eddie is not a flair, does not have flair like Jesus or Trossard or Kai. You saw Kai against City. He played at
hmm
the nine. His hold up play was pretty good. Was able to spray the passes. Now we created chances against City. Now even I'm not even glorifying Kai Havertz and saying he's a god. He's an all right player, but he's level to Eddie. Yes or no?
Okay,
Yeah,
I mean, I
yes.
guess
I
that's
mean,
Jesus
not,
level
nah,
to
nah.
Eddie. Yes or no?
if
You
that's what
said
you
what?
think.
Wait.
Jesus level
Bro,
to
this is
Eddie.
a
Yes or
legal.
no?
This is a
Oh,
legal
Jesus.
question, bro.
Jesus,
Just
yeah.
ask a regular question.
Okay, trust his levels to Eddie. Yes or no?
I don't know about that one, G.
Oh nah.
Nah,
But
Bro,
Trossard.
go down on the Trossard brigade, bro.
Nah,
Go down.
Trossard's the ball, bro.
He's
Trossard's
all
been
he's all right. He's
Nah,
all
you're
right.
tweaking. You're
he's
tweaking.
not all right.
All right, let me ask
If
you
he
this.
came, if he came, if he came in your squad, he'll be the captain.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Name me one top six winger he starts over. Give me one.
Every winger in your squad.
He
Mudrik.
doesn't start over your winger.
Mudrik.
He doesn't start over your winger.
Mudrik.
nah.
But that's the
You
thing. He
can't say
plays.
you
He
can't
plays
say
all
you
That's
around
can't
the
say
Sasu, that's because we have two of the best. We first of all, Sasu, we have the best right winger in the world,
yeah.
and one of
Oh,
the best
chill out,
and one of
bro.
the
Yeah,
best
yeah, yeah,
left
of
wingers.
course. Yeah, prime Messi and Neymar at the best.
Yeah.
And when
Bro,
we, let's
Messi's
get back
Yeah,
to
playing in
I don't
reality.
know
MLS, bro.
about the best
Messi's
winger
playing
in the
in
world.
Let's go
MLS.
back.
That was
Let's get
nice
back to
and
reality.
whatnot, but hey, the point I was just trying to say, because I don't want it to be a back and forth argument. I was just because we're going off track crazy. The point I was just trying to point out to Gogo was the reason we did not create like you were trying to allude to. I think was because of who we had at nine. But I mean that's Latif does not agree. You might not agree, but I personally think each time we've had any of those names that I mentioned play at the night, you see us create more chances. That's just my take, but uh, I just see if you agreed with it. But that's not gonna force it down anybody's throat. What else?
Let me ask Mark a quick question. Let me ask Mark a quick question. Yo, Mark, you hear me?
Yeah, I mean,
So you heard his point, right? And I don't want to bore the rest of you guys because obviously you guys are Arsenal fans. So I'll leave the floor to you guys in a second, but you guys could also chime in on this, right? In
Yeah,
the
and
time that
you could, like,
yeah,
you could hop in,
in the time that you've been watching ball, right? Let's use teams that we know as examples in our head. We don't actually need to name anything, right? You're gonna have more than one center forward on your roster. How often do all of those center forwards have the same profile? Now, a good team should be able to play to the strengths of each of those individuals when they're on the pitch. Like when Chelsea plays with Torres and they play with Drogba, they shouldn't be expected to do the same thing. When Van Nistelrooy is playing the 9 and Rooney's playing the 9, you not have the same approach.
yeah.
When Firmino's playing the 9 and Origi's playing the 9, you have to, like, the rest of the players have to adapt who's playing. When Haaland is playing the 9 or Alvarez is playing the 9, they're not gonna do the same thing. So if you're that good, you should be able to adapt to who you're playing with. And in his defense, we know he's a straight up bagsman, right? All he does is he's there to put the ball in there. He doesn't have too much extra shit around his and he did his job. So like I don't think there should be any questions around his name. The likes of and when I made my original statement, I didn't say any names, right? I just gave a blanketed description. But the likes of Kai Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and the rest should, for me, the creative onus is on them to create more openings for the team as a whole. That's just how I look at it. I mean, I'll open it to Shay and Sasu since you guys aren't Arsenal fans. What's your take on that thought process?
Let me go first.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Unfortunately, there's no refund business in the transfer window. The truth is, Kai Havertz is a scam. He scammed you lot.
I think you should have never opened that window. Never.
Scammed you lot. Listen. You know what's crazy? Analyze about Arsenal. You know what's crazy? It's kind of similar to what she's doing right now. Like, I think in a way, Pep Guardiola underappreciated the Bruno kind of groin.
Wait. 1 second, like, can you mute because I can't hear him.
So, like, I feel like in a way, you see how, like, everyone's kind of looking at City, where I don't know if you guys are looking at City the same way I'm looking at him, but to me, it's like City lack creativity. It's kind of like, as much, I mean, they're going to score goals because they have just too much quality, but it just seems like they lack creativity, right? And I feel like in a way, I told Guggy this the other day, I feel like something about Arteta is, I'm not trying to say he's a mimic, which we all know he is, but I'm not even trying to call him a mimic right now. What I'm trying to tell him is, I think he's getting into that realm of overcomplication. And I hate when managers get into this bracket because it almost seems like he's trying to do too much. You know, even the whole concept.
Let me tell you what it is. The convo we were having that I was saying and was giving his response to. There's way deeper layers to that we're not gonna have time to touch on. And when you see those layers, you would understand why we're saying what we're saying. But I do understand where you're going with Arteta. I used to say the same thing about Arteta, overcomplicate things, but I got into it and now I see his vision. Is to use overcomplicating things, but when injuries start to hit, like what's happening to Chelsea right now, then you would appreciate the things he's doing. So I mean, from the outside looking in, I get what you're saying, but believe me, that's not the case at all. I promise you.
So you don't feel like
I'm not his biggest fan, but that's not the case at all.
No, but so you don't think, right? At the end of the day, let's call a spade a spade. Kai Havertz, he's been playing football for 8 years. Bayer Leverkusen, Chelsea for 4 years, Bayer Leverkusen for 4 years.
You just have an agenda. That's all.
No, that's not an agenda. Hear me out. In his entire footballing career, he's never played the 8. But Arteta decides
he has
never played the 8. Do your research.
He played on transfer market. They literally have like the positions these players played in.
Listen, I'm telling you from you know me as a Chelsea fan. The second
for
weekend
Chelsea,
league.
he never played the 8. Doesn't mean he played in Leverkusen.
He never has played for Bayer Leverkusen. You can mark my words on that.
Yes, he has, bro. He definitely.
What did he play for Leverkusen? For Leverkusen,
First he was a 10. He was a 10 or he was a striker. He never ever played the 8.
But you do understand when we say 8 in our team, both our 8 are kind of like 10. You understand that, right?
Listen, I know Arteta has brainwashed to believing that you guys football a level above the rest. He has never played in any midfield outside of a very attack-minded midfield. He has never played any position.
But that's our midfield is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But
I mean,
anyway,
your 8 last year.
Not get into that.
Your 8 last year was Shaka. Are you now saying Shaka?
The window?
Are you saying? I'm asking you. One question. Are you now saying Shaka and Kai because they're playing the same position? Can we agree on that?
Players. That's why we upgraded to Kai.
But also, like I said, you consider that an upgrade? That's an upgrade.
Believe me. We'll have a segment for this. I promise. Okay. And we'll be able to hash this out another time.
Match 38. Kai Havertz has 2 goals, 3 assists, 38 appearances.
Okay. Gaga, is that pretty much everything you had to say on the game?
Yeah, overall, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'll just drop my little quick percent. I was not impressed. First half, as far as domination, like field domination, we dominated, but what did we really do with it? And those are the most frustrating games to watch because it's like you guys are just passing the ball side to side.
Yeah.
I want to see chances. Anyways, I don't want to, like I said, I don't force my thought process down anybody's throat, but I strongly believe our system is highly dependent on the type of 9 that we have playing every single game. And as the season goes on, you guys will see what I'm saying. I mean, I don't say these things because I just want to talk. I've been watching this team. I know. But anyways, the next game, and I forgot to mention, I even know this, but Burnley did have a red card against City. That's interesting. I know that. It was like a last-minute red card.
Yeah, it was literally one of the last kicks of the game.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened with that?
He 2-footed him from behind. Like it just looked bad on the VAR. First he got a yellow card, and then they rechecked it. It just
upgraded it.
He just caught him with the top of his leg, so the referee had to give a red. Otherwise, it would have been scandals.
Yeah, scandalous like in Old Trafford, right?
Yeah.
I was just about to say.
But to me, I think we're gonna at the end of the episode we're gonna touch on like game of the week. Everybody will have their take. I thought the most interesting game going into the season was the next I'm gonna call out was the Newcastle Aston Villa game, and it's 5-1. All the new signings scored in that game. I believe Tonali scored, Musa Diaby scored, but Newcastle they raped Aston Villa, like they raped them. And I mean I've been telling everybody on this pod about Newcastle, but some people Latif don't want to believe in Newcastle's strength and overall factor at the club. But
I just got premature hype. I like people to show me first and then get the points after beforehand.
Playing in the Champions League, so according to you, finishing second and finishing fourth is not a big difference. So they had a similar season to Arsenal last season. But anyway, let's not even get into that because we'll be here forever. Chelsea Liverpool 1-1. Satu, educate me because I only saw the last 30.
You froze.
Go ahead, bro. Kick it off.
All right, listen. Chelsea Liverpool, man. I'll say this: my team honestly surprised me. Didn't really know what to expect, just because it's literally. I think we had 6 debutants for that match. So the one thing I will say for sure is the way Pochettino is coaching this team. I have a feeling that this season will be one of those seasons where it doesn't really matter who's in the lineup. We'll just find a way to make it work because he drilled players so much to the point that it's almost like you have quality. It's almost like you're playing one of those relegation sides. If you have quality, if you don't have quality, I haven't seen Chelsea play and look so fit and so sharp in so long. And obviously, last season was a terrible downgrade in quality. Seeing Graham Potter and Frank Lampard coach those sides, but you can easily and quickly see that there's actually a manager who actually has a tactic, who actually has a brain, who actually has a plan for how we want to play. So honestly, I'm extremely optimistic about this season. I'll be honest. That aside, the injuries that have just happened and the news I've heard this week makes it hard for me to really know exactly what the season can look like. It's a toss up with Chelsea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, my
I
bad.
think
This shit just booted me off for some reason, man. Editing this video is gonna be the most challenging thing I have ever had to do. I'm gonna have to combine both recordings. But anyways, Sasu, you just gave your breakdown on the Chelsea Liverpool game.
Yeah.
I missed pretty much all of it. But
Basically,
did you
I
say
was
you were
saying,
impressed or what? What was it?
basically I was saying I was impressed because I didn't know what to expect. The truth is, I came into the match so used to losing now that if we lost 4-0, it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world, truthfully. But I
Yeah.
came in, we went a goal down, and just to see us have fight and come back, to me, you could actually see that there's an actual manager working on that team.
Yeah, from what I saw in that second half, you guys actually were fucking pull up. Like you guys had
Yeah.
the
Oh
upper
no, we
hand.
were dominating.
But the funny thing about that is watching that game, I couldn't recognize half that Chelsea team. I was literally asking myself like, who the fuck is this guy? Who is this? Who's this? It looked like watching Nigeria play Sierra Leone or some shit like that.
Hey, it's only gonna get worse and worse. I think we're about to close on 250 shows from Zimbabwe tomorrow. So it's only getting
Nah,
worse and worse.
but if since we're on the Chelsea topic though, Caicedo is over the line, right?
It's done deal, my boy.
It was
Training.
on this same pod last week. Gaga was over there telling me, "Oh, it's official, Liverpool." 24 hours later, he's holding the Chelsea shirt. How does
And
that happen?
one thing I will say is, and I think we have to all, in a way, agree, I don't think there's someone more ruthless when it comes to transfers as Todd Bowley. The way he stole Mudryk.
Yeah, that's why Oli said he could go kick rocks, right?
You actually hear the backstory? No, let's be real though. Just in case you haven't been up to date with the Olise thing, the only reason why Chelsea withdrew from Olise is because Crystal Palace threatened to take us to court. That's the only reason why. Crystal Palace.
Bowley's a fraud.
Yeah, he may
He's
be.
a criminal.
He might. He may be. But I think we can all agree that he is the most when it comes to transfers.
Wait.
Like,
How was Bully a fraud? Why is he a fraud?
Yeah,
Nah, that's just bad. I just don't
I'm just
appreciate the way.
whatever he's doing is supposed to be what like an owner should do. But go on.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're doing it and spending all that money, but we're not seeing results on the field, then
That's not
something's
his
not right.
problem. The problem is not coaching the team.
That's true. It's a great point. That's not his job.
Yeah, this is a very short term assessment. I think he should be judged over like a 4-year period. I was jacking from last season. Like the simple fact that Chelsea in Europe is a problem for the rest of us. That's number one. And it's not even about who they brought in. It's about everyone they've been able to get out. People love to say, "Oh, squad, options, blah blah blah." It doesn't help anybody to have 30 man them on your squad, especially if you're not in Europe. Get 20 good players and find out who you can utilize from that. And
Yeah,
if
but
they're
let me
not
ask you
good,
this.
cut
Let me
them
ask you
off.
this. All the money, Bowley's been spending, and Saeed saying, Bowley is doing what the ownership, which I agree with, no doubt. I didn't know you would say it last week. It's kind of like they just throwing the pin on the wall and hoping it sticks or something like that. Like there's no like look at Arsenal. Look at
What's
Arsenal's
crazy?
recruitment policy.
It's unconventional. It's unconventional.
It's very
So
unconventional.
and
Very, very
Americans,
unconventional.
of course, the media is gonna look at it with the side eye. Like you gotta live above the spin. And I'm not saying he is a magician, but I'm saying it's too to make any definitive assessment on the plans.
And add to that and make
I'm
a
making an
comment.
assessment on the
Can I
plan.
make one comment?
Wait, Sasu, give me 1 second, 1 second. All I'm just saying is they seem to be going with this approach. Um, let's fix it. Let's fix it right now. Let's fix it right now. Let's fix it right now. You cannot fix it right now in the Premier League. It doesn't work like that.
Let me make a
That's
comment.
all I was trying to say. That's
Let me-
all I was trying to
So
say.
it'll be quick, but I just have 3 points to touch on. Number one, you actually can't argue about that we're trying to fix it right now when we're signing 50-year-olds that were just coming out of high school. That's number one. It can't be a fix it right now attempt. It can't be a fix it right now theory. Our average age in our squad is 21 years and like 200 days. That's the average age of our squad. In fact, after Thiago Silva, the oldest player in our squad, after Thiago and Raheem, the oldest player in our squad is 25 years old. Is Ben Chilwell. So just put that into hindsight. Aside from that, sometimes it almost looks like he's just throwing cash everywhere. But you know what's really important to remember is like these businessmen, like they don't want to spend money. Like you know what I'm saying? Like there are plenty of businessmen who wants to waste money. So you have to at least believe that there's a plan in place. You know what I mean? Like no one, they don't just wake up. It doesn't matter how rich you are. They don't just wake up and say, throw 20 million pounds down the drain. So you have to believe.
Right, and it's not that risky in Chelsea. The goalie's doing it because Caicedo was what, an 8 or 9 year deal?
9.
9. So what? The 120 M's is going to be 20 million every year. So if Chelsea chose to sell him at some point, they'll probably sell him for the exact same amount, so they get that money back. So it's not really a risk, you know what I mean? They're still young.
And my last point to that is, I think the media wants you to believe Todd Bowley is the problem of the world, because you want to know what's so crazy, and you can fact check me on this, but at the same time, you know how Gugga said that he called you and said Caicedo's going to Chelsea. So you can check the timestamp on this. I think it was about 8 p.m. Jamie Carragher tweeted, "It's 115 million pounds, but hey, you have to get your primary targets. It's good value for money. He's 21 years old."
Saying the Liverpool when he was going to Liverpool?
12 hours later, 150 million on Caicedo. Todd Bowley's going mad. You know what I'm saying? So it's all.
They did the same thing with Declan Rice, bro. They did the same thing with Declan Rice.
It's however they want to spin it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I just have one last question on Chelsea before we move on to the next. Did Chelsea sign Lavia or?
Announcement tomorrow. Don't worry, he's coming.
Is it like official?
I mean, it's official enough. I have enough trusted sources on my Twitter, and you know I'm up to date with everything. So he signed.
Caught offside or what?
No, not offside. It's actually a barber. It's actually a Chelsea barber.
HD cuts.
HD cuts. Yes.
Fuck out of here. That dude is trying to promote his barbershop, talking about you got a source. Go ahead.
Nah, for real, it's official though. It's announced tomorrow.
No. I saw something like that. I just don't. I've seen so much news this window.
Yeah, you never
Neymar
know.
shit, the fucking Messi shit, and but it's been a crazy summer. So I don't even know what I see these days. Latif, your camera is off, by the way, and so that's that for the game. We don't have anybody from Liverpool. So
I mean, we can still talk about it,
I guess.
I mean, people who watch the game, hello?
You said
I watched it.
We all watched the game. It doesn't mean we can all talk about the game. Liverpool.
Go ahead. I thought you were
think?
waiting on United. I didn't want to say nothing.
But you don't have to, just because you're doesn't mean you can't talk about another team.
Nah,
I mean, with the Chelsea Liverpool game, what do I think? I think that Liverpool, like the first half, they overplayed Chelsea. I was like, damn, Caicedo is not going to fix this, no matter what happened. But then, what my man said was that if it was the coach of last season, like a Lampard or someone like Potter or something, they would have collapsed. But they did not. If it was last season, it would have ended after that Salah goal that wasn't allowed. Last season would have ended. But then that Liverpool team, it shows that they needed like a DM. Because like if you look at it, they're playing Trent at the right and Trent was overlapping. Trent was in the left for a period of time. It was just all over the place. Then that's how attack. Chilwell was having a fucking field day. Like Chilwell was having a field day. But if Liverpool doesn't get a DM, I don't know. That top four, they might not get top four, in my opinion. But that's just
It's cooked. It's cooked.
Yeah,
They need,
just
they,
that
they need
Japanese guy.
two.
yeah,
The
that's what I was about
guy
to say. They
they
need one,
get-
they need two.
I mean, Fabinho, they might get him back from Saudi at this rate because
Oh,
I just fucking know they're playing Gakpo in the middle.
That's
Nah,
wild.
they cooked. I'm
Yeah.
nah,
gonna
I
tell
think
you
Klopp
guys
has
something.
lost the plot.
Nah.
Prior to the departures of Fabinho and Henderson, I was actually a little bit scared, thinking they might be a rival for the chip, but those moves happen so late in the window, and then the Caicedo thing happened. And even Caicedo's not really a sitting
Hey,
six.
but Caicedo would have helped. Most
Nobody's
definitely.
doubting that. But I'm saying, people in. I'm gonna go on a mini tangent right now, but we mix up a lot of verbiage that isn't DM, holding mid, and six are not all the same thing. Like even Caicedo is not a pure holding or sitting midfielder.
He's not.
So
Hey,
who's
educate them, bro.
but
No, he's not, though.
I don't know what their plan is. They got Enzo now. I don't know too much about him, but even I still feel they need somebody else. So it just reminds me of Arsenal 2011,
Yeah, let me ask you,
2012.
Tatu. Tatu,
Mad attacking mids, nobody
wait.
reining them
Let
in.
me ask one quick question to this man, Latif. If let's say everything goes how it seems like it's gonna go this window, what would you say is Chelsea's strongest Champions League finals tomorrow night? You guys have to play a midfield three, I guess. You guys play a midfield three, right?
Yeah, we have midfield three.
What would be the midfield three?
Okay, if Nkunku's fit, it'll be Nkunku, Enzo,
In
Caicedo.
midfield?
He at the 10-ish hybrid. Yeah. If Nkunku's not fit, it'll be Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo.
That's interesting. I don't know if Poch would play on midfield.
As an
He's
8-10.
a number 10.
He's an 8-10. He's been
Yeah,
playing
but
good.
the last two seasons, Nkunku has been scoring 20 plus goals.
Yeah, but
He's a
Poch plays
false
the 4,
nine.
but Poch plays the 4-2-3-1. So that two would be Enzo and Caicedo with Nkunku right there. But he plays Nkunku a
They
little
play
deep.
double pivot.
Yeah, double pivot with front
I
slash.
ain't think Enzo was a six or
He's
holding
not, but
midfield according
he
to
plays.
Latif.
Hey, Enzo plays anywhere.
Utility.
Last
Interesting.
thing. They didn't respect Enzo after the World Cup. Now everybody's on his beef after one performance against Liverpool.
Who's talking
That kid
Enzo?
is-
Nobody. I haven't heard nobody saying shit about Enzo.
Everyone's been
That's
speaking about.
the point. That's the point. For me, they talk about him and all these other kids. He's the best one out.
Easy,
Enzo?
bro. That boy, bro.
Oh, bro. I'm telling you.
I'm
More than
sorry.
Bellingham?
I'm not subscribing
He's
to
better than Bellingham.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I'll say one thing, and this is irrelevant of whether he signed in the Premier or not. I know Bellingham he's tough, but I'm not subscribing to that whole Bellingham is the best thing we've seen in football. I'm not subscribing to that
It's not
bullshit.
the best thing we've seen in football.
But he's a baller though.
So,
He's a baller,
He
but
can play. I think it's a little bit of media gas.
I think it's media.
No. Let me tell you why Bellingham is hyped like that. Do you know how old bro is?
How what?
How old
Respect.
he is?
He's 19.
Sure.
Do you know what it is to play in the trenches, to play in midfield? I tell Latif this shit all the time, right?
But
We're
he
talking
doesn't
I
play
tell him
trenches. He plays
that
as a 10.
midfield role, like if you're playing deep in the midfield,
No,
that
not
shit is.
deep.
You know how
Relax. No,
movies.
he's not
You know
a
how
center
movies
No,
say.
He's
you
a
look-
10.
see his last performance for Real Madrid, the way he was getting at defensively, he's an all-round midfielder.
Not
You can't
yeah.
Exactly. Tell him, Shay. Tell him.
You can't say he's
Bro,
just a
to
10.
do what
I'm
that
not saying
kid
he's
is
a
doing
hard
at
working
19,
He's ultimately a hard working
doing
center.
at 19, it's impressive.
Yeah, very
No,
impressive.
it is. But Enzo literally lifted the Jules Rimet trophy.
No,
Yeah.
fact.
We need to respect what's being done
If
as well.
Harry Kane was not a
God,
bum,
why we
let-
bring this into the convo? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But anyways, whatever you want to say about Jude, that kid has my respect
Nah,
to play
he's
in
tough. I'm
midfield.
not disrespecting. I just think I think a lot of it. I'm gonna put it this way: if Nigerian, would he be that tough?
I mean, let me stop you there though. Let me stop you there. Mikel Obi in your midfield. He was a mainstay in your midfield for the Champions League trophy, right? The first
But
one.
Milo B, had his name been Michelinho, would have been the highest recruited Brazilian defensive mid in Europe. Right or wrong?
You're probably right, but he had a hype in Africa still though.
But hype in Africa and hype in
You know,
Europe.
now we're not bringing no racism in here, right? Talking about hype
You know
in
what
Africa.
It's a political.
I mean? Had he
No,
been
I know what you mean.
Michelinho,
I know what you mean 100%. And if he was English, it would even be 5 times that.
5 times worse.
Yeah,
5 times worse.
I know what you mean, like 100%. But still,
Yo,
what
that's
we're
the
talking
game
about?
of the weekend though. Wolverhampton
Yeah, yeah,
toasting up
yeah.
Old
We're
Trafford,
stuck
man.
on
My
Chelsea.
United boys is
Thank you
quiet
for
this
bringing me
year.
back to earth. This guy has a way of luring me in there. But Spurs Brentford 2-2. I actually expected Spurs to lose that game. And Man United, this is the game I actually thought we spend the most time on, but we spent so much on Chelsea. Yeah, we pretty much covered Chelsea because I don't want to hear no Chelsea talk until we're done. But the Man United Wolves game 1-0. I was actually one of the fools in the background thinking United would, bring rock to the Premier League. But hey, it's one game. I'm not gonna judge off of one game. They started last season losing 4-0 or was it away? I don't remember. But they came on strong as the season went on. So I'm not judging off of one game, but that was a very, very disappointing performance by United. If you ask me, Wolves should have won that game. I don't watch opposition I don't watch rival teams games. I only watch Arsenal. Latif knows this. But I watched that United game. They beat us preseason to see. I wanted to see, was it just preseason or are these guys, but United is not different from what they were last season. Still a bunch of bums.
You
They're still
gotta you
paying
gotta keep a
referees to be
close
the
eye on the
club.
ops always, bro. You gotta keep a
No, I
close
don't
eye
give
on
a
the
fuck
ops
about
always,
ops.
bro.
I give a fuck about City, but not United. Um, but yeah, I just have to throw that in there. What you guys just take the United mind them in the
Honestly, for me,
the
it was a very poor performance. I wasn't impressed by any of it. We didn't. I mean, I was watching some of the game. We didn't have any clear chances, or with the creative plays that we had. We have Bruno Fernandes with Casemiro, with Garnacho too. He had a very poor game.
I
But to be
rate
honest,
that
bro,
kid though.
but honestly, bro, poor performance. But that's what big clubs do, bro. We won the game. We got the 3 points at home. We got 3 points in front of the fans, and we didn't concede. Clean sheet as well. So a lot of positives in that way. I mean, in terms of performance, it just wasn't there. We just saw through and won the game.
I,
This guy
I,
manager
I
of
would
United
switch.
right now.
I would switch their result for our result, not performance wise, because we blew Nottingham Forest out the park. But as far as like 1-0 result, like Arsenal cannot keep clean sheets at home. I wanted to see that from last season. That was our till last season. But anyway,
We ahead of them on the
Latif,
table. What are you even saying
let's
right
not
now?
even go back and forth.
What are you
I just
saying?
wanted to throw that in
Goal,
there.
bro.
It's the
Go
same goal
score,
difference.
brother.
They 2-1, 1-0.
Go
It's the
score,
same thing.
brother. Go score, brother.
One more.
What are you
Nah,
saying?
clean sheets. But anyway, forget it. Saeed, you got anything to add
To say
to
it,
Shay's?
what my man Shay said, I mean, he's absolutely right. The funny thing is that Wolves, right? When you see their lineup, they're in disarray. They've sold what? Evans is gone, like in fucking Saudi right now, I think. Moutinho is injured, like Jimenez not even there. So they're I think Kanakodi's out or something. So you think that on paper, like their team should actually be weak. I want to hear Wolves. You think that Wolves is a tough team, but generally, if you actually look at what they've been doing this summer on paper, they're actually really, really weak. So going into the game, I was like, okay, Wolves, they should take care of business.
A
Maybe
lot
like
of people had them picked for relegation this
I
season.
have to pick. I mean, that's the thing because like the whole summer they have a mass exodus and they haven't really replaced them. It's so weird. But going into the game, I was thinking like, okay, maybe like a 3-0 kind of thing. That's what I was thinking. Okay, 3-0. But then I saw the lineup. I was like, okay, Rashford is a striker. We've been there, we've done that. Rashford as a striker is not going to work. Like it's not. We've tried since 2018. It's not going to happen. So I saw that already. Then I was like, okay, this is fucked. Then you have Mason Mount. Up to now, I don't know what Mason Mount does.
Oh no, he's a
Not
joke.
even gonna-
I warned you, look.
I don't know what Mason Mount does in the pitch, but we have Mason Mount. I think that's a waste of money, but maybe I don't know. Mason Mount, we have him, whatever. We have Mason Mount. Garnacho, Anthony. Okay, Anthony, I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do. He played really well. The link up with Bisaka. Bisaka is trying on the right. You know, one thing I did like was the defense was actually really, really solid, but the midfield was so bad. So like, who's could like they could cut through like cheese, like cheese that's melted. They were cutting through that midfield.
And that's why I was going to ask you when you complained about Rashford playing as striker. He didn't even have any chances to score. Like
Rashford is not like he's not like just so the thing is that I can't really judge this team fully until like we have like Holland like I want to see what he does as a number 9. Then Rashford goes to like the left wing. Then we do what we want to do.
What happened to Eriksen?
Eriksen is a dead man walking, man. I'm not.
Yeah. Comments from outsiders. Comments from outsiders.
I'm sorry, man. He's just.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of rate Eriksen.
Me too. Me too.
I
rate Eriksen.
I really thought he was. Eriksen's the player. The way you watch the highlights, he was like, oh, this guy. He's skillful, but like he died like 2 years ago or something.
No, side. Bro. And yo, let me make some comments as an outsider, as someone who watched the game very intently. I mean, United fans obviously have their own agenda as to what they expect to see on a week to week, but the manager is Ten Hag. So like at the end of the day, he's looking to control the games, right? And the midfielders you guys have is just I feel like it's gonna be problematic.
Yeah.
But like it's gonna be a transition thing, which United fans love, like, the back and forth, counter attack, whatever. It's cool, but like I don't know, like he's trying to do.
What do you mean by midfield? Like what in particular are you talking about?
I just feel like he's trying to implement a possession-based game, but like
and doesn't have personnel to do it.
Casemiro, he's already in his 30s, so his athletic ability to like counter press was exposed by Cunha crazy, right? And then number 2, Bruno is not you're gonna give to hold the ball. He's more of a passer than like a tempo dictator.
He gives you the final ball.
Eriksen, the same thing Said was saying, like no more legs. All he does is serve balls. He's not there to control the flow or the tempo of the game, which leaves
But he'll
Mount.
do it better than Bruno, though. That's why Sasu asked, "What about Eriksen?"
But he doesn't have the engine of Bruno, though.
But we have the engine through Casemiro.
But that's the point. That's the point I'm making, though. He hit. You saw the game? Like his days are numbered, bro. In terms of like being able to do that on his own, he was getting.
The legs are not there anymore.
Yeah.
I think Casemiro can do it on his own. I don't think that his legs are gone.
Yeah, he can't. He can't.
It's not even a Casemiro thing in general. Like with the midfield, one cannot do anything.
Yeah.
But one thing about the midfield is that making me scared for like upcoming games is that, like I said, I can't judge anything until we have a full squad. But with that midfield itself, like we all knew it coming, there's no balance. You have a Casemiro in there. You have Bruno, like Latif said. Bruno is like, he's not a possession-based player. He cannot play like in a team like Barcelona because that's not what he does. He's not that kind of player. So then you now bring Mason Mount, who's kind of, even if I always say, what does Mason Mount do? He always kind of similar to Bruno in the fact that he's not like that kind of player. So what you can do is that you can have like someone like Mason Mount replace Bruno, maybe in some games, like as a sort of like depth kind of option. On some when you're playing Mason Mount and Bruno together, there's a sort of imbalance in that.
Yeah, I
No,
agree.
I agree with that.
That's a great point. But the thing brings that a lot of people don't acknowledge that typical English. This is what every English player will give you. It's an engine. Like they would run. The English midfielder would
He's the
run.
most
Like
well-rounded.
think,
All of them. He's the most
yeah,
well-rounded.
yeah.
Let me tell you something.
He's a bit of everything.
And get used to it. He's that guy who's gonna do a whole lot of nothing. You know, he look like he's working hard, pressing, helping the team out. When you check the stat sheet, 0 goals, 0 assists.
Hey,
Simple.
the
Bro, but
season
like,
you got
man, it doesn't need
Champions
to
League,
be
he
on the
was
stat
like
sheet, though.
Yeah, but don't forget, Mason Mount 3 years ago was bagging 18 goals a
that's
season,
what that's
12
what I'm
assists. So this reduction of stats, don't let him confuse you into believing like this is what he should be doing. No,
so
Mason
you're
Mount,
saying he's a Dele Alli?
there was a couple seasons and he's gone. I believe so. I believe his days are numbered at the top.
Yeah, I mean, we know
I don't know.
it's only still
Mason Mount, final product. Don't let him trick you into believing he used to be a workhorse merchant. He's not Conor Gallagher.
No, of course not. That's not what I meant. I said he has
What
an
did
engine. I
Shay
knew
say?
he had the product.
No, I was saying you. I know we're scrutinizing Mason Mount right now, but saying that he doesn't bring anything to the table. But Mason Mount is a very creative player. In some of our big games, he will definitely be in. The reason why we signed him. Right
No,
now,
I'm
Yeah, but Saeed is
for
not
me.
jacking him though.
No, one thing I say about Mason Mount is not really is a bad play. I'm saying like if you play that midfield of 3, Mount, Bruno, and Casemiro, it just
yeah,
can't
exactly.
work. So
I
Mason
agree.
Mount can act like for Bruno or something like playing them as like 3 is just.
I
Yeah.
know
But
what
you
you
don't
mean.
have any
I
other
know what you mean.
options, though.
Hey, but I will say this though: if you guys end up getting Sofian Amrabat, that whole midfield is you guys dominate the
Yeah,
midfield
that-
just with one player.
Exactly.
Nah, that's
Like
fact.
Saeed said, it's just an imbalance right now because we've got two
If you
players.
get Amrabat, it's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Fact.
Exactly.
Fact. I just got one question on the United game. Because I was looking at the lineup right now. It was something I was trying to see. But anyways, I'm not even going to bet on that. I just have one question. How do you guys go to sleep at night, United fans? Like, you watch that game, you saw, and you've seen these things happen all the time. Like, the referee, the PGMLO, whatever they call that shit, will come out apologizing. Why is it always the common denominator is at Old Trafford? Last season, Martinelli was in the first minutes. Oh, after the game, we apologize. That was a clear error. This season, Wolves, and there were a couple more last season. Have you noticed a trend? I just need to ask this. Have you noticed a trend? And this is not last season, this season. This has been since the Invincible season. When we lost our 49 game unbeaten record. I remember that shit because I watched that game and I was pissed the fuck off. Because the referee was a 12th man for United. This shit has been happening ever since Fergie has been
That
at
was a clear
United.
penalty.
How do you
That
guys
was
go
a
to sleep
clear
at night? I just gotta ask
Nah.
this question. Do you know what I'm saying or no?
Yeah. Okay, honestly, with the last game especially, how that was a penalty with the Onana situation is a joke. I don't understand. Like, I'm a United fan, but me and Ogogo were watching it and we couldn't believe it. Like, on every single rule book and every football rule book, that's a penalty with no questions asked. So the funniest thing was the fact that it still went to VAR and they still decided not to.
That's wild.
Bro,
That's
I'm
wild.
watching that shit in disbelief.
Yeah, I mean, as a United fan,
Yeah, that was a wild decision.
Nah,
Let's
let's
go
let's
this.
let's
I
there's
told
another
you
decision that's
you
similar.
guys this.
Huh?
It's a new
Like,
season. Probably change things in the rule book. It's a new
Oh,
season.
Nah.
The new season.
Saeed needs a bucket.
That's not gonna be.
Yo. Who could forget, right, when VAR first came in, it was during the lockdown, and it was United playing.
And the game was
Bruno,
over and they called it back.
Not even that one. This guy, Bruno, stepped on the man. The Villa player, I think it was Constance, and they gave United a PK. United fans
But
know
I
what I'm
remember
talking
that
about.
one too. And it's not just last season.
Crazy,
Look at
bro.
Yeah. I mean, we've had some crazy decisions go for us, but we've also had some horrific ones go against us too. We've been on the other side of that too.
That's fact. But do we all agree that the seasons that go for United is a lot more? There was a table that showed the wrong calls that went in United's favor. I think it was last season or the season before
The
last.
craziest
United
thing,
had
bro.
20. The league had like 5.
You know the craziest thing, bro. This is like the shit era, quote unquote. Imagine if the refereeing was actually fair, bro. Like, where would they actually be? Like, serious questions we need
No,
to
real quick.
ask, bro.
Yeah.
We really need to be
Are you
asking.
Because they
talking?
get way
Facts.
too much slack.
You can't base referee decisions on our whole club's like decisions. You can't do that. Or on our
No,
league.
no, no. Of course not. Of course not. Of course
Yeah.
not. We're just saying you guys did a little too much. That's all I'm saying. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but we've all been on the other side of it too, so we'll take things that go for us, you know.
Yeah, but they
But
usually do go for you.
huh?
Usually do go for you though.
9 times out of 10.
Hopefully more and more. Though.
Exactly. I mean, it's helping us. We pulled out the bag. That's what big clubs do, bro. We had a shit performance. Our team looked shocking. We looked disjointed. We managed to get 3 points at Old Trafford, bro. One of the fans. So I'll take
Hey,
that.
but hey, at the end of the day, it started the season, so we're not even gonna go too hard on any team. But let's just kind of wrap it up. I'm gonna just call out the rest of the results I got here in front of me. Brighton from last season, and some man them have them in the top 8 um, last week. They beat Luton
In town,
4-1.
yeah.
We also had Sheffield United lose at home to Crystal Palace. That'll be a tough game for Arsenal next week. And we had Bournemouth tied with West Ham 1-1, and Everton lost to Fulham away. And I picked Everton to go down this season as well. Just have to throw that in there because they've been flirting relegation now for years, and I think this is the year it finally happens. I'm gonna just get one from each and every one of you guys. Goal of the week. I could literally say goal of the season. It's only one game week, but goal of the week from last week. I'm just one name. That's it. We don't have to explain why we picked it. I say Bukayo Saka last week. Sasu,
Saka.
Saeed,
Damn, just one name.
just
I
one name.
Saka then.
Joga,
Come on. Bukayo.
Che,
Mason.
Now I'm trying to think because I'm not trying to pick Saka, but fuck Arsenal.
yeah,
I was thinking Luis Diaz's goal for Liverpool. The team play for that goal
Yeah.
was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Started
like
from
that.
keeper.
yeah,
Start from
and
keeper.
and Latif.
You did bring up a good one, but honestly, only the Arsenal goals I remember, so I'm gonna go with Saka for sure. The pool one was fire too. No cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, facts. Noyo did tell me one because I was talking to him yesterday, and he said to say that was his. Who was it? Who was it? Who
Bowen?
was it? Who?
Bowen?
Huh?
Was it Bowen? Bowen.
Oh yeah, I
Bowen.
saw that one.
Bowen. Who said that?
Bowen. But Bowen's goal is similar to Saka, but Saka's better tech. It's the same goal. It's the
Yeah,
same goal.
yeah.
Left foot.
Noyo's pick was Bowen. He said Bowen's goal was goal of the week for him last week. Oh, just right before we round up, I know on the East Coast right now that shit is down there. What 11 past 11? It's still kind of early over
That's
here. I still
midnight.
got a lot of time, so I'm
Oh.
chilling. But let me just get you guys this predictions for next week, and then we wrap up. And I do appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna just read out the fixture. We go around, say a score line. Don't worry, I'm gonna write all of this out. So when I do drop the video, it would have everybody's predictions. We could revisit next week. Nottingham Forest, Sheffield. I'm gonna go in the same order. I'm gonna go Sasu, Saeed, Joga, Shay, Latif, and I'm gonna drop mine last. Nottingham Forest, Sheffield. Forest is home. Sasu,
1-1.
Saeed.
2-1. Not Nottingham. I won't need to go.
He even gave the goal scorers too. Joga,
I'm going 1-0 now.
Shay,
I think
Latif.
2-0 Forest.
I go 2-0 Forest as well. Luton Town, Burnley. That's the relegation derby. Um, Sasu,
0-0.
I see that.
That's postponed, right?
Huh?
Isn't that postponed? Am I
Yeah,
tripping?
you actually know that. I was wondering why that shit. Why is it
Why
postponed?
is it?
Huh?
I actually have no.
What is
I
home?
think not Luton is home. I think they have that new system. Oh, no, Luton Stadium is not ready. I think
Yeah,
that's
Oh,
what
I
it
get
is.
it.
stadium's already.
What type of shit is that?
Yeah,
Bro,
nah,
I'm not
that's what
gonna
I'm
lie,
saying. They
Oh, you are
don't. Yeah,
Luton.
nah, they don't deserve to be in the Premier League.
Nah, you're tripping. You're tripping.
Now I'm
Bro,
telling you, they just
don't know the,
embarrass themselves.
nah, you don't know the story of Luton Town. Like we've come up the leagues consecutively again and again, and with a team that we didn't even spend that much on transfer.
Are you from Luton?
Play for the academy.
Oh, word.
Yeah. I grew up playing for Luton Town my whole life. Then I went to Reading.
Oh, that's what's up, bro. That's
Yeah. So I was at the academy when Luton Town were going through this whole rebuild, and they were telling people that they're trying to get players to play in the Premier League. We were one of the best academies too in the country. We were a non-league side, and now the fact in the Premier League is huge. But that performance against Brighton was shocking. So it goes to show the level.
What was the score against Brighton?
4-1.
yeah. For were you being funny just now?
No. I'll be honest. I wanted insight because Luton next.
No. Look,
Box.
honestly, I'm not gonna pass judgment on you yet. I haven't watched them. I literally haven't watched them play, so I'm curious. But on the first view, it doesn't look too good for you guys, Shay. So just thanks for letting me know that game's postponed. So I'm gonna just nullify that one. Liverpool, Bournemouth, Sasu,
Liverpool 2-0.
Saeed.
2-1 Liverpool.
Dola.
Liverpool 2-0.
Okay.
Yeah, Liverpool 2-0. I agree.
Saeed.
2-1. Not convinced without those DMs.
2-1 who? 2-1.
To Pool, like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. You
it's
say you're
not
not
really
convinced
convincing.
after saying 2-1. You kind of confused me. But
Results and performances, bro, two different things.
yeah, nah, I hear you. I say 4-1 Liverpool. They're gonna have way too much for Bournemouth. Nah, 4-1. They're gonna look Bournemouth.
Oh,
Yeah. Pause on that one. But let's see here. Wolves, Brighton, Sasu,
who's home?
Wolves.
Wolves look good. 2-1 Brighton.
Wolves look good. 2-1 Brighton. Yes, Saeed.
2-0 Brighton.
Gug,
2-1 Brighton.
Shay,
2-1 Brighton.
Latif.
1-0. Wait. Wolves, Brighton, right?
Yeah.
No, Wolves. Yeah, 1-0.
Wolves. You saying Wolves gonna win? I say 3-1 Brighton. Fulham, Brentford.
Who in Brentford?
Yeah, Fulham, Brentford.
Oh, Fulham.
2.
2-2.
Yeah.
You know Mitrovic. I
Oh,
think they
Mitrovic
said
is not 1-1. 1-1. Change it. Yeah, 1-1.
Okay. Saeed.
1-0 Brentford.
Sugar.
1-0 Brentford, yeah.
Shoot, Brentford lost Tony.
Shay.
2-1
Yeah,
Brentford.
but what'd you say?
2-1 Brentford.
2-1 Brentford. Latif.
I'm thinking 3-3. One of those days.
Oh.
You know what? Mad games.
Big.
I was tempted to go that route as well, but I think it'll be a low scoring game. If you 1-0, Brentford will beat them, keep a clean sheet. Tottenham, Man United.
Oh. That's this weekend?
Yep. There's 2 big games this weekend. It's Tottenham United, Man City, Newcastle.
I'm saying
Who's
Tottenham
home?
3-0.
Who's home? Tottenham, Man U.
No, wait, Gaga, don't jump the gun. Sasu, Tottenham, Man United.
Who's home?
Wait, if I say Tottenham, Man United, duh.
Duh. 2-2.
2-2, Saeed.
Tottenham United. Fuck, man. That will be high scoring. So maybe like 3-2 United. 3-2
3-2
United.
United. Gaga.
Going 3-2 Tottenham.
Shay.
I think 3-1 United.
Latif.
I think 2-1 the Spurs.
I say 1-1. City Newcastle.
4-3 use.
That's a wild scoreline. Saeed.
2-1 City.
Gaga. I like that. Shay.
3-2 City.
Possible. Latif.
2-0 City.
We always pretty close. I was gonna say 2-1 City. He'll also end the draw, to be honest with you. But I just say City tip it. But hey, you get to touch KDB or who's gonna be the bigger loss. I say KDB, but always. That's why I think they'll draw with Newcastle. That's we'll run out of time. Aston Villa, Everton. That's who.
2 Aston Villa.
3-0 Aston Villa. Son isn't keeping clean sheet this year.
You said 3-0, right?
3-0 Aston Villa.
Gaga.
2-0 Villa.
Shay.
2-0 Villa.
Latif.
I think it's gonna be 3-1. That's a crazy one. I feel like both clubs are low-key under pressure. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be 3-1.
words out of my mouth. Yeah, but I think Villa being home, the onus is gonna be on them to pull something out of the bag because a lot of people had high hopes for them this season. So I say Villa take it 1.
Myself included.
Yeah. They were in your top. Unai Emery's biggest fan. West Ham, Chelsea.
Oh, time out. They just got Zaniolo too. I didn't even see that one.
They got who?
Yeah, today.
Zaniolo.
Who the fuck is that?
I
don't
got
watch
touch
Barcelona. He was on Roma. Inter
You know, I don't
before
be watching. If it's not Prem, I don't
He's
watch.
decent. He's decent. He's decent.
He's good.
He's decent.
Valid baller, bro.
Valid
Baller, bro.
With potential.
Oh, what position?
Right wing.
10 striker, right wing type. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
10
had
striker.
he had end product last season.
He was Galatasaray. I didn't really see too much from last year, but he could play. Yeah.
Nicholas, if you ask me.
That sound like they just signed Demari Gray. That's what it sounds like to me. If I asked for numbers, they say he could play.
I don't do the numbers game, bro. You know this. I don't do the numbers game, man.
Okay, West Ham, Chelsea. That's it.
3-0 Chelsea. Up the board.
Fuck up.
2-1 West Ham. That was James injury.
Madman.
Hey, that's facts. That's facts. I completely forgot about
Malo Gusto. Remember the name.
No,
I watched the game for Gusto. Inshallah.
Remember the name, bro. Malo
Gusto. Jaga.
I'm going 2-2.
That's another good pickup by Gaga. I think that's what it's gonna be. Shay.
Yeah, 2-2. I think it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah, Desmond. Latif.
I think it's gonna be 3-2 West Ham. West Ham's at home, right?
Straight banter.
Yeah.
None of you put money on this game.
Hey,
All banter.
Zach Sasu Malo Gusto is my guy.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Play it, bro.
Isn't he from Brazilian league or something?
He was on Lyon.
I told you I'm not gonna act like I know these motherfuckers. If it's not Prem, I don't know. Like I'm not gonna act.
Nah,
I don't know. But West Ham, Chelsea, like I said, go hit it on the head. 2-2.
Okay.
For me.
There's no Declan Rice
Okay.
in that West Ham team anymore.
Who?
Remember, there's no more Declan Rice in that West Ham.
Rice was not the reason why they finished top 6 2 seasons ago. They had a pretty decent squad. Antonio, Bowen, all the man, them Suchek. They got a pretty decent Lanzini. Oh, they got a team. Crystal Palace, Arsenal. That's who.
Who's Arsenal 2-1.
Yeah,
I see that.
I agree.
Right.
Arsenal 2-1. Arsenal.
Yeah, 2-1 Arsenal.
Jake,
Yeah, 2-1. I agree.
Steve, 2-0.
Arsenal.
Yup, I called it 2-0. Cause you know we be you know when we play away we keep sheets. Well, it's standard.
Facts.
We don't leak like some clubs I know. But hey, I do I do, I do appreciate everybody for tapping in. Shout out Shay and Saeed, the double S's, the United fans. Let's see how the weekend goes, and we'll meet again next week. Just let me know if you guys are gonna be able to join in, and we'll make it happen again. Bless.
Bless, man.
All right,
Yes,
bro.
sir. Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nah.